Well, you're total heroes. You're both total heroes. No, you really are inspirations for all of us in Canada, and a reminder of we're better together, and we're there for people in tough times and good.
And we're aware as individuals who got in a lucky situation by helping others that we represent thousands.
Yeah.
We represent thousands in this district who stood up that day. And then hundreds of thousands of proud Canadians who realized that this is the right thing to do.
Yeah. But by doing it, you set the example, right? And then, somewhere down the road, somewhere else in the country, somebody does the same thing.
I
something similar.
volunteered
Yeah.
37 years at Legion.
That's right. You were president
before
of the
we get carried
You were
away.
president of the auxiliary.
I was president provincial too.
Yeah.
Before I get carried away, you know that lady there, don't you?
Yes.
All right.
I saw her yesterday.
And I got another frame there, nothing in it.
Have they seen?
So I hope you're going to do me the honors.
Oh,
You and I
definitely.
go in
Yeah,
that
as long
one.
as we go. So I've got it. You're going to shrink me down.
No, I'm
right,
not going
to
to
put me
shrink
in
you
there.
down.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a big one just
Fine.
like that.
We can get. I'm a politician. I got lots of photos. But we got to have one together, and I'll have one to put up. No, the Governor General, Her Excellency, was in good form yesterday. Yeah.
You see her again, tell her Beulah said hello.
Yeah, when I see her again. Yeah, when I see her again at the swearing in.
That was taken as very
Yeah, fantastic. When's the last time you were in Ottawa?
August.
August. Okay.
My son that passed away, he was born in Ottawa,
right? Yeah.
and his name is on the fireman's memorial there.
Yeah, the first responders.
I see him out in the smoke there.
There he is.
That was painting.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a hero there.
Do you want to sit down and have a little?
Yeah, can we go through the? We got some
All right.
memorials. Where do you want me?
You're going there apparently.
Where am I going?
Right there.
Right here. Okay. I'm good. All right. I'll just show everyone Her Excellency. There she is. She's looking good. Okay. Is that Aubrey?
That's not great.
Yeah.
That's just people came from the state. You know who that is? Not my favorite person.
No, I don't know her.
Ivanka Trump.
Oh, that's Ivanka. Yeah. She's done a lot. Actually, Ivanka has done a lot for women's rights and
Not
women's
her.
education rights.
It's her. It's the other one. I'm not. Really.
The other, what's his name again? Yeah.
I won't say. This is a Hannah, the one
a
that lost her
family
son
affair.
in the Twin Towers.
Oh dear.
And he's in Come From Away too. And that's Irene, one of the writers.
Is this a launch party?
No.
Certainly a party.
Irene, her husband, and little girl stayed here for 2 or 3 nights when they were interviewing when they were doing the write-up for the story.
Yeah.
And that's Hannah there again.
That would be around the Broadway opening,
And
because
that's
it was just after that Prime Minister Trudeau
That's
invited the
Hannah, right?
United Nations.
Yeah.
So
But we
that's when
still
Ivanka
keep-
was there, because somebody else didn't take his seat.
Ooh,
You guys will have to edit.
we'll have to edit that out. Yeah. Well, actions have consequences.
we still keep in touch. And that's Astrid. She's the
Yeah.
original Beulah in the show.
Glamorous.
And
Did she come here, Astrid?
oh yeah, she
Okay.
stayed here too.
She did, okay.
And
Astrid
Lisa,
actually plays
Lisa the one.
in the Newfoundland cast. So she will be doing her 3rd season in Gander, performing in Come From Away.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I gotta
So
tell
we have
you,
2
this one-
Broadway actresses in the Newfoundland cast, and one, of course, is Patrina Brownlee, who's a Newfoundlander.
That's right. That's right.
This was taken in 2016 when they first came to Gander. This first time the show was here. And there was a man there, like she had the black and white, black and red on. I had black, red, and white on. And this man was up and he spoke. And I knew he was an important person, but I didn't know who he was. And he looked like he was going to cry. And I thought, who is that man?
Is it Justin?
So when he got up and spoke, he said, when Beulah and Astrid met for the first time, he said, the love between the 2 women, he said, was unbelievable. And he said, they're both wearing red and black. And this was Bruce Heyman
Oh,
American
yeah,
ambassador to
yeah,
Canada.
lovely guy.
He said, "I'm tearing up now just talking about it." But that was just the picture.
You know
that
what?
was taken.
That's great. I'll mention it to Bruce. He's
Yeah, a
Do you mind
really
if I,
nice man. See,
do you
there
mind
it
if I
is.
interrupt you, Beulah?
What's that?
Sorry to interrupt you, but do you mind if I ask
You're
you a
wearing red and
question?
black.
Not at
You're wearing,
all.
she's
I
wearing red and black, so
am,
if you wear red and black,
That's the same night.
I really wanted to hear you guys, just tell us about your story in 9/11, because I think it's so impactful. I've kind of heard a little bit about it before, but
Tell us about,
your story, just about what 9/11 was like
Okay.
for you guys.
Like when you first heard about it.
I was teaching,
Printed there.
I went to work, it was a typical second Tuesday of school year, except that the bus drivers and janitors and secretaries are on strike. And it's a long story that we can't all fit into this, but I fell into a leadership role because that's the way I'm wired. And I registered at the end of the school day with a class list, a school list, staff in my pocket. And I helped my staff coordinate, and we set up 3 schools by stacking furniture and making room to sleep on the floor. We had no idea how many people we were dealing with. And when the first people came, the first bus came in after midnight because our bus drivers went off strike because they knew that was the right thing to do. And the first passenger I met was an American man traveling alone, and I was directed to take him to the theater, to the gymnasium. And I presented him with a gym mat, orange plastic gym mat with Velcro around the edge that you would hook them up for doing tumbling, and they're dirty and they're sticky. And this was the best we had. It was after midnight, and I presented it to him, and he said, "I think there are other people who are going to need this more than me." And that was my first interaction with the passenger. And those people were so grateful and so afraid. And we got to listen in on their phone calls. They made phone calls all over the world. There were so many Americans, yes. There were passengers also from over 90 other countries. And we kept 4 flights at Gander Academy for 4 nights with the volunteering of teachers, retired teachers, their spouses, their kids, substitute teachers, neighbors in the community. Every church had their own thing on the go. The Legion had their own group on the go. The Knights of Columbus had their own group on the go. 75 people slept at our fire hall. And it was only the right thing to do. But the thing that really strikes me still is that this is an ongoing thing. Through some strange, obviously I have good luck, through some strange bit of luck, I'm represented on stage. Beulah and I combined as a character in the Come From Away musical. But as a retired teacher, I often get calls from teachers asking me if I would speak to their classes.
That's nice.
So the next one is going to be a group of kids in Maine. And I just pulled these out, but this is thank yous from a group of grade 8 kids from Minnesota. So this is still going on. And the teachers do a workshop about the event, about kindness and about compassion. They study the musical. In some cases, they're lucky enough to live close enough that they can take their kids and see the musical. But I pulled this one out yesterday out of a stack, and it says, "Your kindness motivates me to use my kindness."
Yeah.
And if we can't tell
I'm
stories,
gonna hold that up.
if we can't tell stories about kindness and demonstrate how very basic
Yeah.
what we did was, we get so much credit because we're represented on stage. Everybody helped. There's not one teacher that I worked with that was not engaged that day. And it was all the smallest of items. Bringing food, bringing blankets, bringing toys for kids. One of the dentists comes in with a case of toothbrushes. Here, Diane. People came. We represent a district. One of the dentists comes in with a case of toothbrushes. Here, Diane. People came. We represent a district, a region. This was a regional event. More than half of these people were in smaller communities around Gander, cared for, again, by the local community clubs. The Lions Club in Norris Arm fed people 3 times a day, and they stayed in the little school out there. Norris Arm had a population of 911 on that day, and then all of those passengers came in.
Right.
And it's not Gander's first time. We hosted the military during the war. We had a terrible crash here, the Arrow Air crash. And people come here and just want to know, are you really like that? And I think so. I think it's the most basic stuff. It's the most basic stuff that we were taught by our mothers or we were taught in kindergarten. Share what you've got. Help when you can. Hold the door. Smile. Cry when you need to. And show compassion. And I think that is what makes us Canadian.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think Ellie from Minnesota captures it there, which is your acts, the acts of the people of Gander and beyond, show that kindness and generosity and the compassion, and it motivates your story, your example motivates Canadians to be Canadian, as you say, and I think we do well to remind it in music and on Broadway, but right here at home. And in part, what we're going through with this crisis is, which is brought on us, ironically, by the Americans or some of them, related to in your book, Beulah, but is about pulling together and showing each other kindness and being there for each other, and that's what we can't control what happens outside our country, but we can sure control how we treat each other. And
we start in our communities, and we go beyond our communities, because that's how we grow and that's how we learn. And anyone in our community is a member of our community. It doesn't matter if they're a newcomer. It doesn't matter if they were born here or if they moved here. People are shocked to find out that I'm originally come from away. I love Newfoundland. I love Canada. I'm proud to be able to represent it any chance I get.
fantastic.